How's everyone doing today? I'm talking about one of the best 80s horror movies, in my opinion, that I've seen. Now, mind you, I have not seen a lot of 80 horror movies. I actually know a lot about horror movies through YouTube videos because I was a pussy back in the day. I've seen some 80s horror movies. Halloween series, Friday the 13th series, and the new horror movie, that I saw last night, Intruder. Me and my friend watched Intruder, and after finishing, I'm like, hey, this was a banger of a movie. I swear, everything about it was just great. The music, the characters, the killer, the gore, everything. The music actually reminded me a lot of Halloween. It had like some piano and synths and shit. It's like it really knew how to like make the scene seem creepy as shit. I also loved when the music would play when action was happening. Music would also play that kind of action kind of sound. I don't know how to fucking describe it, but like the music would basically go crazy when something was happening. And something else I liked about this horror movie that not a lot of other horror movies do is the characters. The characters are actually grand. Watching this horror movie, I don't remember any character that I found really annoying or I didn't like, or I was just like, that guy's full of cringe, like a glass full of water, or like a glass full of patheticness, It's not even a fucking word, but anyway. I don't remember hating any of the characters in the movie. Actually, I remember fucking all of them. I remember being like, fuck, they died. The ending to this movie is actually pretty crazy as well. They all died. There was some characters that I didn't, quite fuck with. The fucking rapist dude, the guy with the leather jacket, who was the main chick's, ex-boyfriend. I didn't really fuck with him because I just kind of found him weird. I guess I'm just hating him for grass's green opinion. And then the other dude who, I can't remember his name, but he's basically the dumb guy. He's the guy that got his head crushed in the crusher in the store for the garbage compactor. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really care for his character. I guess his character was fine, but I swear, his character for one was like, he's just a retard. And there's this scene where the main chick was making out with this other dude, and the dumb guy was behind the till or some shit. He's just looking at them, fucking get it on like this. I'm like, bro, it's just mesmerized. Bro, it's finding entertainment. He's like, oh, I read porn. I get to watch porn on premium live action. We were joking. Yeah, he's probably having a wank or some shit. The way he's looking at it, it felt like he had his pants in his fucking jocks and just tugging one out, Oh, the gore was probably some of the best I've seen in an 80s horror movie. I'm willing to say that this movie is better than Halloween in terms of gore and kills. The gore was I thought the gore was top notch for an 80s horror movie. The gore was pretty solid. There were some gnarly ass kills. There's this kill where a dude got his head sliced off and then his head got placed back on again like a fucking action, literally a Lego character. Man was making a human Lego character. And then there's this other scene where the dumb guy, he got his head crushed. The sound effects and the gore and shit. Oh man, it's so, I don't know, kind of gut-wrenching, but it's pretty realistic, and it's just it looked so gnarly. And when he got his head crushed, it literally looked like the inside of a watermelon or some shit that his head turned into. The kills were great as well. I was literally just talking about what the fuck. Yeah, I'm talking about the gore and the kills. Same thing. There's a dude that got his head, he got hooked on. Even that was gory. Even the smaller kills, that they didn't really spend that much time on. The kill where where the killer grabbed the manager and put his head onto a spike and then got rid of his eye. I thought that was still pretty good. And I liked how the music was great. The music, when it played, it would make you think, oh yeah, something's gonna happen. Every time the music played, I knew something was up. And it's the movie knew when to play the music and when to not play the music. The movie knew when it's building up anticipation or when something's happening, the music, starts going, the choir, locks in, starts fucking grinding on that shit, starts cranking 90s on the piano and other instruments. And then when it's silence and all, I'm just thinking, it's just kind of putting you on edge. I was in anticipation. I was actually being edged by this movie, bro. It's when something happens, fuck it, something happened now. No, it's gonna happen now. It's it keeps you guessing and shit. I love it when horror movies are able to build up anticipation instead of just a fucking PNG of an old man with leprosy jumping at you with a loud sound effect, and that's it. Just this movie also, this horror movie didn't have, I don't think it had any jump scares, which is great because a movie that overlays on a fucking on jump scares can crumple up can crumple itself up and throw itself in the bin, because that's just a bit of a shit horror movie in my opinion. I don't like horror movies that are only good because ooh, a jump scare. Like, it just gets old after a while. It's like drinking, it's like eating the same meal every day. It's like you eventually get bored of this shit. Like, why am I eating sausages and chips for like the fifth day in a row? Like, you know. So yeah, that was great. The killer was great as well. I really like the killer. The one thing that this 80s horror, that this movie did, that other 80s horror movies do as well, which I really like, is they don't show the killer until the very end. So like, you'll get, if a character dies and it's from the perspective of the killer, you see it from the perspective of the killer, and it's just the killer killing them. Or you can like see or you can see like his hand coming into frame, and he like grabs the character, just fucking shoves their head into like a pile of shit or something. I think it's great. I think it really like has you hooked on towards the end of the film, literally like a fucking fishing hook. And it literally has you hooked on towards the end of the film because you want to find out who this killer is. Like, who is this fucking dude that's chopping people up like sliced onions? Who's this guy that's trying to make a human salad over here? Like, what is he doing trying to make beetroot soup out of people, you know? I thought that was really great. And shit, action. Another thing that I want to talk about is the action. I hate horror movies. I have like a particular complaint with this in Friday 13th, the final chapter. That movie is probably the most boring out of the first three, out of the second three, because I didn't see the first one, because the first one was like Jason's man killing, and I was like, I don't care. So yeah, I thought that was kind of the weakest in terms of like the second three. Nothing happened in that movie. I swear it's just like fucking kissing and it kills, and that's it. Other than that, nothing happened. Like, Jason's the saving grace, like, you know. But in this movie, shit was happening. There was a subplot with the main final girl and her rapist ex-girlfriend. That served as like another subplot to like keep things fresh, keep things going. You know, it's like there's a scene where he like snuck into the store and he's fighting everyone. This guy's like the Terminator. This guy was like human Michael Myers with the way he was going along. Like, it took the whole store to like fucking hold him back, and I swear he's able to fight all of them. He's able to fucking beat the shit out of everyone in the store. It was like 6-7 other people, and they struggled so hard to hold him back. I'm like, this guy's a monster. This guy shot up a gallon of steroids in his ass crack or some shit, because he is going in. And that subplot also comes back later on to playing on the plot with the killer and shit. I was gonna mention the killer. The killer, I thought, was a pretty good killer, and his motives were actually still pretty good. Basically, the killer was the shop manager, and he wanted to take this shop for himself because he's literally crazy about this. But he loves this business. This store is his passion. Working in Lidl's is his dream job. You fucking hate your life and want to die because you work full time Lidl's? Yeah, give your job to this guy. He'd fucking love it, bro. If he was hired on the first day to a full time 9-to-5 job in Lidl's, he'd probably start jumping up and down and fucking throw confetti around the place. You know, party pops be going on because this guy loves his store. He was a great killer as well. Even when he was like revealed, he was still good, which I think is brilliant, because like in some cases in horror movies, when the killer is revealed, they just sort of lose. Or fucking Scream is probably notorious for this. I swear the Ghostface is scary up until his mask falls off. Then his like aura falls off. His aura is actually pissed into the fucking earth, like, because they just don't become scary anymore. They just become goofy and just regular ass people. Like, the whole thing with, I did this because your dad fucked my mom, gave me a brother, dad left, and now I'm crazy. It's like, who cares, bro? Why are you telling a whole lore backstory to people you're gonna kill? But this killer in this horror movie was great. Even when he was unmasked, he was still scary. He seemed pretty fucking cracked to me. Like, there's a scene in this movie where he's like telling about a story. I don't know, I can't remember a story, but I just remember it's like some dude walking and walking. He still has his burger in his hand. He's like walking to work. He still hasn't finished his burger on hand. He does that again, mocking the victims. Because the story he's on about, the dude he's talking about holding burger, was one of the victims. He does that again to the final girl, taking the piss out and be like, yeah, I did this to your guy. Remember this story? Yeah, I killed him. I fucked him over. I fucked his life up, yeah? He's dead. Which I think is sick. The guy seemed cracked. He literally said, I'm crazy for the store. I need the store. He was still like, fucking, he wasn't wasting any time. He didn't do any shitty ass lore backstory. He like said a few things to her, and that's it. And then even towards the end of the film, he's still great. Oh yeah, the ending of this film is crazy, bro. The ending of this film basically it's your one and her boyfriend, leather jacket dude. They're like they're the only two left. They're the only two that are like, you know, fucking went home from school. You know, so showed up to class. Sorry. They're after beating the shit out of this guy. They're after beating him because your one was in a telephone box and he tried to come and knock and push it over, and she crawled out, and the leather jacket dude got on top of him and just started beating the fucking shit with his with a cleaver. He just started fucking going ham, bro. Bro looked at him like a human-sized mutton chop and just went. Also forgot to mention another scene with the killer part. There's a scene where the leather jacket dude tries to fight the killer, but the killer just starts beating him up with a head of a victim. He just starts fucking walloping him like he's using a bat. Also, another thing I forgot to mention about the killer is actually pretty fucking smart. I thought this was so sick. This was so cool. There was a scene where the dude who was missing his eyeball was was calling out for help and all earlier on in the movie. But obviously, anyone who sees a dude who has like no eyeball and they're just like barely alive, they're gonna freak out. So he was laying down on the ground. The main character tries to go over and be like, "Oh yeah, I can help you. I can take you to the hospital," you know. But then it turns out it's just the main killer with the guy's head like, I don't know, glued or taped to his head or some shit. It was pretty good and smart. The ending, anyway, now I'm gonna get to the ending. The ending basically, after the killer's dead and he's kind of barely alive and conscious, the leather jacket dude called the police. The police arrive and they fucking handcuffed to him immediately, because this was back in the 80s, so cameras wouldn't have existed. There would have been no proof of this shit. Like you walking out of a store that looks like a fucking Kool-Aid spillage happen and there's dead corpses everywhere and you're the only person alive. Yeah, they're gonna assume it's you. You're getting bum raped in prison. Good luck with that. So in this one, the two cops have him handcuffed and the dude still barely alive. They're telling the cops, we didn't do it. We didn't fucking do it. What the fuck, man? What is this bullshit? Alright? Fuck off, dickhead. So the guy that's barely alive, he tells them, oh yeah, they did it. They killed everyone. They killed everyone in the store. Everyone's dead. Everyone's a fucking kill count on their top right hand corner of the TV screen in a game of Fortnite, bro. They got the victory royale, and that guy was the last victim. I thought that was still cracking. Like it makes sense as well, because the guy was dying. He had none left to lose, so he's like, he might as well fuck their lives up. And he's actually laughing, dying as well. And like, man found it funny as shit. The ending was probably a bad ending because it just ends up with the two characters getting arrested. You know, they survive, but they're getting slapped up behind bars. No, I don't know how my stupid Patrick Star brain ass idiot monkey doofy brain. I forgot to mention this, but the film I noticed is the only horror film that takes place in like a convenience store. Like other horror films will take place in like a house, an abandoned shack, a fucking field or some shit. This one took place in a shop, and it still managed to make its settings work. There were areas where it was dark as shit where you couldn't see the killer. Like the scene with the doofy guy, the fucking dumb Jesse Pinkman, but he got dropped on the head 50 times character. He was literally like chasing the killer, thinking it was like a different person. And the killer was like in the light, but his face was still covered in darkness. Like you could see he's not wearing a mask, but you could still like can't see his facial features, all, which I think is great. They still managed to make a good horror film in a grocery store as well, which is pretty unique. And another thing I forgot to mention is I love how in this one they would foreshadow stuff. I like it in horror movies when they're foreshadowing things. I think it's pretty cool. It's like when it happens, like, oh yeah, that was the fucking thing back then in the other part of the film. Like, yeah, that's pretty sick. Like, you know, there's things where it would foreshadow, like the spike that the dude got his eye cut on. There's a scene where the manager was like, I think ripping paper off of it or some shit that was being foreshadowed. I can't remember other shit being foreshadowed. That's really the only thing. But yeah, this movie does have great scenes where there's foreshadowing and shit. So I just wanted to mention that. So yeah, I just wanted to yap about this horror movie because I thought it was a really good 80s horror movie. If you're looking for a good 80s horror movie, I definitely recommend this one. It's just a banger. Like if you're not into 80s horror movie, maybe you're into slasher movie, even better. Like it's still a banger when it comes to that. But anyways, hope you did enjoy this video. See you later.